right, thanks so much for being with us here on ANF Plus. Just want to let you know that we are waiting for this press conference to begin really at any moment now at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, ahead of a very important event, of course, for Atlanta and any sports fan out there. At around 10 o'clock this morning, obviously it is 10 o'clock right now, so we're a little bit behind schedule with this, just waiting for them to begin their remarks. But what we're expecting is to learn more about plans to keep everyone safe leading up to and during college football's premier event. And Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens, various city and state leaders are going to be talking about keeping the peace during the college football playoff national championship game. So you can see here on the podium, we are waiting for those remarks to begin really at any moment now here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And you've probably seen some of the signs going up all around town, just letting everyone know about what is happening. The Ohio State Buckeyes are going to take on Notre Dame for the championship next Monday. Ohio State going into this game an 8-point favorite. City of Atlanta, as you see, hanging up banners all over, letting everyone know. And here you see Mayor Andre Dickens, Police Chief Darren Shearbaum, other city officials preparing to give us some live remarks, letting us know about safety and security. Let's go ahead and listen in.
Everybody up? Okay. All right. Good morning, everyone, and thank you all for joining us here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Standing with me today, representing the City of Atlanta's Police Department, is Darren Shearbaum, the Chief of Police, along with Atlanta Fire Rescue Chief Rod Smith, ATL DOT Commissioner Solomon Cavanis, and of course, our emergency preparedness team is also here as well, Felipe and Asher in the room. We are we have our private partners represented with the executive director of the college football playoff, Rich Clark is here, and president of Atlanta Sports Council, Dan Corso, as well. We're also grateful to have representatives from our federal, state, and local partners here, including Georgia State Patrol, the GBI, FBI, Homeland Security, Customs and Border Patrol, and others. First, I want to thank our first responders, both here at the City of Atlanta and our state and local partners, for their professional, world-class response to this weekend's winter storm events. Weather can be unpredictable at times, and downtown Atlanta saw more snowfall and lower temperatures than predicted. Yet we came out on the other side of that with no major incidents. We had more snow this year than we did in 2014, but the response was a lot better and more coordinated. I also want to thank the people of Atlanta for their resilience and, for the most part, heeding the warnings to stay off the icy roads. In true Atlanta fashion, it's on to the next one this weekend. This is going to be a very busy week in Atlanta with celebrations surrounding Martin Luther King Day and, of course, the college football playoffs and more, the inauguration as well. We are proud to be the only city to ever host the college football championship twice. And with that honor comes the responsibility of keeping our residents and visitors safe and the responsibility to keep city operations running as smooth as possible. Just like other major events held in Atlanta, when we know weeks like this are coming, a year or more in advance, we immediately begin preparing a year or more in advance. Led by the Mayor's Office of Emergency Preparedness and in coordination with the agencies at all levels, we hold tabletop exercises and trainings for numerous scenarios throughout the year to ensure our departments are ready for anything that may occur and anything that could be unpredictable as well. And sometimes in Atlanta, we are thrown a snowball or a curveball and still hold our own. Take, for instance, last year when we hosted Copa America. That particular day was already slated for a huge match between Team USA and Panama here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Then, just days prior to the match, we found out that Atlanta would be also hosting one of the most consequential presidential debates in decades. And so more than 70,000 attendees were here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and thousands of participants at a debate in Midtown came and went safe and sound without incident. So make no mistake, we're not resting on our laurels. This is a huge undertaking, and I speak for all of us when I say we will not rest until all of our residents and visitors leave safe with a positive experience and great stories to tell when they get back home, and when our city can get back to business as usual as well. But as I've said many times before, Atlanta does big very well. And that is due in large part to our spirit of collaboration, as you see here, with our public and private partners. I want to thank my Chief Operating Officer, LaShondra Burks, for her leadership, not only for her preparation for the days ahead, but for keeping our residents safe and operations running smoothly through this past week's winter storm. And I want to thank our next speaker for his leadership in bringing all the partners that you see in the room today together and making this morning and making this week a very safe one and enjoyable at all times. And he was really reflective of the experience of how our citizens come together and for visitors alike. I turn it over now to Atlanta Police Chief Darren Sherbaugh.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Always want to thank the members of the media for fulfilling an important role, which is taking the messages of safety and preparedness to everyone that watches your station, listens to your radio, or reads your newspaper. We are prepared. As the mayor said, we have been preparing for months now for this day. We knew we would be hosting, well, we didn't know who would be hosting. Now we know we have Buckeye fans and the Fighting Irish coming to our city. And we will be hosting those that will be honoring the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and we'll be inaugurating a new president. And I just want to assure everyone your police department is ready. As we get into this weekend, we will go to 12-hour shifts and we will cancel off days. That means everyone in the Atlanta Police Department will be out working on the streets and in their assigned areas at the E911 Center, but not just in the downtown space where we will have hundreds of officers. The Atlanta Police Department will continue to be present in all other 244 neighborhoods of our city to make sure if anyone calls 911, we're there. We will also just not be the Atlanta Police Department. We are joined on the stage by a number of our long-standing partners from the state, regional, and the federal government. But we just don't come together at a podium. We've been planning for months, and when this weekend arrives, every agency that you see behind me and around me will have officers and investigators and agents spread and troopers spread throughout the downtown area as we keep the event safe. We will have hundreds of Atlanta police officers just in the downtown space, and Chief Hampton in a moment will go over the resources and the capabilities that we're going to have present to make sure that we're ready for any eventuality. But despite of the hundreds of law enforcement officers that will be present, we need Atlantans, and we need visitors from Ohio, and visitors from Indiana, and wherever you're from to do something for us. If you see something, say something. If a vehicle, if an individual, if a package does not look right, call 911. Flag down one of the individuals in uniform that you will see around. And I want to implore everyone, if you see a posting on social media of someone that is threatening harm, you have a duty, an obligation as a citizen to report that to law enforcement. So it's just not see something, say something around you when you're in the downtown Atlanta. If you see something online that is someone saying they're going to harm this event or bring harm to our country, report that right away. And I'm very proud again of the men and women of the Atlanta Police Department. They have just completed protecting, Mr. Mayor, the Peach Drop, the Peach Bowl, executing our portion of honoring President Carter, and then they worked throughout the snow emergency. But yet again, when we hit Friday, they're going to be at their post, they're going to be at their precinct, and they're going to be protecting the citizens of Atlanta. So the men and women of the Atlanta Police Department, thank you for what you do. And I'm now going to turn it over to Chief Hampton. We'll go in a little bit more detail of the resources that we will have deployed on a law enforcement standing.
Good morning, and welcome to Atlanta, where the players who will be Ohio State and Notre Dame will play. As Chief Sherbaugh stated, we have been planning for several months for this weekend, and we're finally excited that it's here. So he talked about several events going on, so I'll start with the ML King Parade. There will be a march taking place from Peachtree Street on Baker. It'll be the starting point all the way to Ebenezer Baptist Church. That parade route will close down at noon, and we scheduled to open that back up at 4 p.m. So we ask everyone to pack a little patience, show some brotherly, sisterly love, and just enjoy the event that's going on. That parade route will be fortified with large vehicles as well as human resources and some vehicle barriers placed strategically throughout the parade route. Our job, again, is to maintain safety and make sure that everyone has an enjoyable time. After the parade, again, we'll have most of the festivities for college football will begin. And we have several teams, tactical teams will be deployed. Our civil disturbance unit will be deployed. Our bicycle response team will be deployed. We have react teams, troubleshooting teams, officers on fixed posts down in the tourist triangle. So you should see an Atlanta police officer everywhere downtown. It has, again, been our job to plan, but it's everyone's responsibility, again, to, if you see something, to say something. This is our event. The nation will be watching, and we want to make sure that all our visitors, our residents, are here and enjoy it themselves. For our biking community, you will see some of the bike lanes shut down due to fortification. Again, we just ask you to be patient with that until the route is over, and then we will open everything up for access as well. But again, thank you, and welcome to Atlanta. And then next is Chief Smith, our Fire Chief, Chief Smith.
Thank you, Chief. Good morning, Atlanta. As we approach this celebration, the mayor has talked about how busy the city will be, and the police chief has shown you how prepared Atlanta Fire Rescue and our public safety partners will be this weekend. We are working very closely with our public safety partners to ensure that this is a safe and productive weekend. We will have specialized units, including our quick response intervention units of EMS, our tactical response units, as well as our community risk units will be strategically placed in the city to respond swiftly to the emergencies of the city. We're asking for your partnership in making sure that this is a safe weekend. We know that there will be a lot of fans, there will be a lot of activity, and there will be a lot of good times. We want to make sure that those are good memories. The members of public safety, as you see behind me, are prepared. Just want you to know that your city will be safe, and we will continue to provide the services that are necessary, not only in the high traffic corridors, as Chief Hampton mentioned, but the entire city. And with that, I say, let's celebrate the weekend's events with pride and unity, honoring Dr. King's legacy, ensuring that while we are cheering for our teams, we're embracing history in its making. Thank you again, Atlanta, for doing your part. Let's make it safe and memorable for all. We'll now hear from our E911 director.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to begin by recognizing the dedicated employees of the Atlanta 911 Center. This is, again, their third weekend as well, working all of the major events that have occurred this past year, including, of course, Peach Bowl, New Year's Eve events, and now the upcoming college football playoffs, as well as the King's celebration. So they're also going to be working 12-hour shifts, as Chief Shearbaum stated earlier, to ensure the safety and well-being of our community. As you may recall, Atlanta last hosted the college football playoffs in 2018. And we're thrilled to welcome this prestigious event back to our vibrant city. During that weekend, January of 2018, we experienced 12,623 calls into our 911 center, with the highest call volume peaking at 3,748 calls on Saturday alone. This highlights the importance of ensuring our citizens are truly making the right call. As we prepare for these events, I want to remind citizens to call 911 for life or death emergencies only. For nuisance and non-emergency issues, dial 311 and choose option 2. Those are matters such as noise complaints, minor disturbances, or parking concerns. Additionally, I encourage everyone to use our non-emergency web portal. This online option can be accessed from any electronic device, allowing citizens to report non-emergency issues without making a phone call. Citizens.
Again, I just want to reiterate how important it was for folks to stay home during the snow event. We asked you to stay home, Atlanta, and you did. So I just want to reiterate the fact that this storm saw more snow accumulation than 2014, as stated by the mayor, and we got the job done. I want to thank the many partners in this room that will help make this weekend a success. We are working with all of our partners at Georgia Department of Transportation, at MARTA, and all of our regional partners to make sure that we get people safely in and out of the city. I want to provide a few details thinking about the best ways for people to travel. Plan before you go. Plan before you come. The more you plan, the better off this event will be. We expect to have heavy traffic in the area and heavy congestion. We'll have intermittent closings of streets in and around the Mercedes-Benz district and the downtown entertainment district. We're speaking to MARTA and our partners to make sure that we make it stick. Use MARTA. Use MARTA. Use MARTA. We have the GWCC and CNN Center station and the Vine City station. And if you want to get to the doorstep of all the action, use MARTA. We also have rideshare options available and micromobility, scooters and e-bikes that have parking stations at the backyard facility. So we just want to make sure that everyone has a wonderful weekend and has a great experience, but let me leave you with a couple resources to help you plan and make your trip successful. If you could go to www.511ga.org, that will give you real-time traffic updates, and also www.itsmarta.com. That's www.itsmarta.com. So remember, a little planning goes a long way, and don't drink and drive, please. Use MARTA, and if you see something, say something. So I just want to say thank you, Mayor, for your support, and we will make this weekend enjoyable for all those who will be here in Atlanta.
Now it's time to hear from Rich Clark.
Thank you, everyone. I'm Rich Clark from CFP, and if I had 3 words to bring from CFP, it would be history, gratitude, and excitement. Historic because this is the first 12-team playoff, the first time we have executed it. It's something that the college football world has been looking forward to for a long time, and we are excited to make it history right here in Atlanta. The other thing is that Atlanta is the first city to ever host the playoff championship twice. And it's not on accident, it's on purpose because Atlanta knows how to do big events. So we want to thank you for that. And when it comes to gratitude, first I want to thank the mayor for all that he's done to make this possible. I want to thank Dan Corso from the Atlanta Athletic Council for the work that they've done, and all of our partners from law enforcement, first responders, all the organizations that have had to come together over the last year to be one team for one game that we're going to play. Thank you to the city of Atlanta. Thank you to all the people on this stage for your leadership, and let's have a great game. Go CFP.
Thank you. Yeah, well, let me just say a quick thing. Thank you again, Rich. Thank you for your commitment to CFP and this great partnership we have with the City of Atlanta, Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Thank you to all your leadership here, Arthur Blank and team, and to all the speakers and all the people that's going to keep us safe. Thank you all for your commitment and coordination over all these months and weeks of planning. You continue to show up big. 3 weekends back to back to back. Thank you for all of your work, 911 operators, police and fire, and all of the teams that make this city go. Again, as the chiefs have said, if you see something, say something and make the right call. 911 versus 311. Please, we're asking everybody to not overload the 911 system with nuisance calls when that can go to 311. And take MARTA or ride share. That's our takeaway so that we can keep congestion. You don't want to walk into this story game at halftime because you were stuck in traffic. So Ohio State and Notre Dame are going to be playing, and you want to be right there where the action is. So get there early. Now, Shadow, we'll take questions.
Thank you, everyone. So we'll start with Q&A. We'll start on that side of the room. Sam, we do have a mic, and then we'll go across. We'll go back and forth. Sam, do you have a question? If you have one, just raise your hand, and Officer Carlson will provide you with the mic.
Yeah, Michael Rothstein from ESPN. The events that happened New Year's Eve / New Year's Day in New Orleans, how did that impact you guys have been saying you're planning for months. How did that end up impacting the last 2 to 3 weeks of planning going into this, knowing what we know now about the New Orleans situation?
Absolutely. We took notice of what happened in New Orleans, and the team has already started planning. Chief, do you or Hampton want to speak on the plans?
Well, we don't, Mr. Mayor, is correct. We immediately, the morning of, was speaking with our federal authorities and the state authorities out of Louisiana through the GBI. We were taking note on how a vehicle was used to harm citizens and carry out the attack, and how IEDs were placed in the area. So all information that has been provided us has influenced our plan. Chief Hampton has been working to ensure that the resources we're deploying, both that you can see and that you cannot see, in our technology and human resources, have taken in consideration of what transpired there. But it's just not New Orleans. We look at terror attacks around the globe, and where terrorists may try to harm, we do our very best to make sure we stand in that gap for the citizens.
All right, on this side, Officer Griffin, if you have a question on this side, just raise your hand for it.
It's great. Reporters without questions.
Ryan Young from CNN. Chief, if you don't mind, and Mayor too. Obviously, the IED part is what stood out to me about that potential last attack. I mean, obviously, downtown Atlanta is going to have a lot of people. So can you, talk about maybe having your bomb squad ready for that, or also having the fire department ready to respond to the kind of injuries that we could see if that were to happen?
Certainly. Well, first of all, it's illegal to vend without a permit in the downtown space. So we know in New Orleans, coolers were used. And so if you were there for the Peach Bowl, we were actually citing and arresting people that were vending illegally using coolers. So please come and purchase rightfully. Don't bring a cooler in the area, because we're going to be looking at that. Any other device that may be used to insert an IED into the area. We will have our EOD components, our bomb disposal teams will be available. Chief Hampton's also crafted other agencies from our federal, state, and regional partners that will be available as well, should we have a suspicious device. We'll be there. Our canines will be present. We'll be using our camera system. Every uniformed officer, but Ryan, I want to go back to what I say. We're going to have hundreds of people out there, but we're going to have tens of thousands of sports fans there, and we need their eyes as well, and to call 911 if they see something.
Good morning, Michael Seiden, WSB TV. Are you guys able to talk a little bit about, as far as security at the stadium? Is there any, in light of what happened in New Orleans, anything that changes as far as game day with fans that they can expect to see when it comes to security here at Mercedes-Benz?
Well, Mercedes-Benz is top-notch, received many accolades through NFL best practices. And so, again, they will have teams on standby in-house, same as much as we will have outside. So they'll have some canines doing sweeps before. They'll have EOD capabilities already inside, and, again, large presence of off-duty officers from APD, Fulton County, GSP also. So, again, they probably will just enhance just a little bit with personnel. But, again, they do it right many, many times where they are a model for other stadiums to follow.
Hi, Priya Sridhar with NBC News. I know we're all fixated on New Orleans a little bit, but in the aftermath of that, we learned that the city didn't have the bollards that they needed to sort of stop the car from ramming down the street. Does the city of Atlanta have that type of equipment, and is that going to be utilized on Monday?
The answer is yes. And again, they'll be placed strategically throughout, definitely for the parade route. And again, it would just enhance our fortification that we have with large vehicles. But yes, we do have them, and they will be out along the parade route. And then also, the Congress Center is, because the stadium also sits on state property. So they also have some, and that they have also indicated that they will also deploy some of theirs that they have as well. So you should see them out throughout the city.
Hey, good morning. Tyler Fingert with Fox 5 Atlanta. You guys have talked about tens of thousands of people coming. Do you know the exact, or at least a more firm number between all of the different events happening this weekend, between MLK, all of the different events surrounding the college football playoff, and the actual game for people coming into the city?
I don't have the exact number right now, but we can kind of guesstimate. We know we're going to have 70,000 plus at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, plus onlookers around. And then you have folks that come here for the King holiday. So I'm sure we can be upwards to 100,000 people that are traveling in from far and wide, and it may be even more than that.
Hi, I'm David Ayer with the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. I know the FBI and the DHS just recently put out a statement saying they were worried about possible copycat attacks following the recent one in New Orleans. Can you share what Atlanta is dealing with that and how you guys are preparing?
Obviously, if anyone is intending to do harm, we try to anticipate all we can. They need to be lucky one time. We have to be right every time. And so when we look at New Orleans, we look around the globe, we do look at how attacks have been carried out before and how it can be replicated here. So whether it's a vehicle-borne, a person with a gun, a person with a bomb, we have worked very hard to take all of that in consideration. We communicate daily with the GBI and the FBI and Homeland Security. Some information we have that is known only to law enforcement, some is what the items you have. And again, I want to reemphasize this, as we prepare for copycats or an original attack here, we need the citizens. Because we know that videos were posted in New Orleans before that was carried out. And while we always say see something about cars and people and objects, online see something, say something is just as important, ladies and gentlemen. It may be that family member that you have concerns about, it may be someone you've only met for that one time online. Reach out if you see anything. Call your local authorities, call the FBI, call Crime Stoppers, call 911.
Well, good. Thanks again for your attention to this. And as you see, we are prepared as a team of state, local, and federal partners that you see here, and many, many more. Some couldn't even be here today, but they've been working hard and preparing for this. Again, just like we had the Peach Bowl, just like we've had major events in the past, we will deliver excellence and safety again. But as you've heard from the chief over and over again, what's additional to that is the role of the citizen, the role of the visitor, to really speak up if you see something, to say something, and also look at these online presence that you may have to be able to highlight it and make it known to law enforcement. We hope everybody comes here and has a great time, a great experience, share memories, talk a lot about Atlanta, spend a whole bunch of money in our city. We sure would love for you to make us proud and make us happy with your revenue coming in, and share the memories of the ATL. Thank you, CFP, for your partnership, for choosing Atlanta. It's going to be a fantastic weekend, honoring Dr. King and having some great college football. Thank you, everybody.
All right, officials updating everyone on the safety measures that are being taken ahead of the national championship game here in Atlanta, given the other events that are taking place here as well, including people coming to our city to remember the late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So very busy period of time. We expect at least 70,000 people to descend on Atlanta for these various events, namely the college football playoff national championship game. And just looking here at AtlantaNewsFirst.com, we have all the information you need to be prepared. And you heard what officials said: take MARTA, take MARTA, take MARTA, and try to stay off the roads if you don't have a purpose being there in the city. And of course, they're doing everything they can to keep everyone safe. You can download our free mobile news app to get updates sent right to your phone. Now back to Local News Live.